This is my life. I made the decision. I close my eyes, I see the vision. With lifestyles, I can have the freedom. This is my life. This is my life. This is your life. You made the decision. You close your eyes. You see the vision. With lifestyles, you can have the freedom. This is your life. This is your life. So join my way, live better every day. So join my way, live better every day. So join my way, live better every day. Live better, live better, live better every day. Whoa. This is my life. I made the decision. I close my eyes, I see the vision. Oh, with lifestyles, you can have the freedom. This is my life. This is my life. This is your life. You made the decision. You close your eyes and you see the vision. Ooh, in lifestyles, you can have the freedom. This is your life. This is your life. So join my way, live better every day. So join my way, live better every day. So join my way, live better every day. Live better, live better, live better every day. Live better every day.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Global Marketing Director Leia Guevara from Metro Manila. Welcome to our regular mindset workshop. We are so happy serving you as a Global Marketing Directors. So just a brief background, I'm a CPA by profession. I used to work with Meralco. In 2013, the products were introduced to us. We are so amazed with the goodness of the products. So all our health challenges were addressed. And then I saw the opportunity in March of 2013 I'm so amazed with the income potential of Lifestyles. I did the business for 5 months part-time. Then I left my full-time job in Meralco, and I did this in 4 years doing the business. I became one of the global marketing directors. And now, more than 8 years, we are doing this business full-time. So I really thank God for this opportunity. And now, I will be discussing yung ating featured na book for our mindset workshop. Let's start! Yan ang ating featured na book, The 17 Indisputable Law of Teamwork by John Maxwell. So this morning, I will be discussing the laws number 11 and number 12, the law of scoreboard and the law of the bench. Just for a review, in the past weeks, laws number 1 and 2 were discussed by GMD Rochelle Cayabyab, the law of significance and the law of big picture. And laws number 3 and 4 discussed by GMD Tin Kimpo. Happy birthday, Ma'am Christine Kimpo. Laws number 3, the law of the niche and law of Mount Everest. And laws number 5 and 6 by GMD Tina Perias, the law of the chain and the law of catalyst. And laws number 7 and 8 by GMD Norma Bocacosa, the law of compass and the law of bad apple. And last week, laws number 9 and 10 discussed by GMD Florence Monedero, the law of countability and the law of the price tag. This week nga po, I will be discussing number 11, the law of the scoreboard and the law of the bench. So starting with law numbers 11, the law of the scoreboard, the team can make adjustment when it knows where it stands. So yan yung law of the scoreboard. Sa, di ba yung na-imagine natin sa scoreboard sa mga games, pag malalaman mo yung standing during a certain game, ay makikita mo yung standing ng bawat players at bawat team sa scoreboard. Kahit nga po hindi mo na umpisahan yung yung laro, pagdating mo, ang unang-unang titignan mo is the scoreboard kung nakikita ko para malaman mo kung asan sila at the point, a certain point of the game. And also sa mga company, may mga scoreboards din sila. So yung key performance indicator scoreboards ng mga company, iba-iba yan, depending on their kung ano yung gusto nilang i-magnify, and generally the sales, the bottom line, the net income, or number of people they serve. And also, syempre, sa lifestyles, meron din yan. So, mga scoreboards natin ay makikita natin syempre, sa ating personal business center. We are so blessed that the company provided us this tool para makikita natin yung performance natin. Real time po yan. Kahit saan pa yung business partner mo, kahit saang bansa pa yan, real time po lagi yan. So, thank you Lifestyles for providing this scoreboard for us. So, to emphasize more about the law of scoreboard, si John Maxwell, meron siyang kwento about yung story about Walt Disney. So, this Walt Disney was founded in 1920s by Walt Disney and his brother Roy. So during that time in 20s up to the 50s, they were the icon of success. But in 1966, Walt Disney died. So syempre maraming namang mga company na talaga pag namatay yung founder ay nagkaka-experience ng mga challenges. And true enough, yan sa kanila. In 1960s, up to the early 1980s, the company is struggling. Sabi nga ng mga leaders nila, they are, during that time, they are animating the same picture all over again. And they realized that they were working for a dead man. Kaya, they made alam nyo, sa sobrang evident nung struggle nila in the early 1980s ay talagang pababa yung income nila, at yung pinakamatindi is in 1983 they incurred a loss of $33.3 million. Kaya they made a drastic change in 1984. Kung in the past ay puro internal yung mga nagiging leader nila, CEO and COOs nila, they employed from the outside, bringing new leaders, CEO Michael Eisner and COO Frank Wells. But after that, na nag ano sila is they earned double in the years 1984 to 1990s, and in 2000 they hit $1 billion sales, and Disney has become entertainment giant and one of the most powerful corporation in the world. Sobrang um, grabing grabing change at grabing success ang kanilang naranasan. For many years, when Disney was struggling, its team members look at its history and the memory of its dead founder to gauge what to do. What they needed to do was to look on their scoreboard. A team can make adjustments when it knows where it stands. Eisner and Wells brought that ability to the company. They understood and implemented the law of the scoreboard. So, sa lifestyles, meron din tayong scoreboard. Yan yung sa sarili natin when we score ourselves, our individual income, our individual promotion, our individual volume. And as a team, we look at our group income, our promotions, and our volume. Also, yung organizational growth natin, how many full-time distributors ba meron tayo. Also, yung one of the indicators also is when we are growing, o kung nag-earn ba tayo if we have investment and properties, and that's very evident for us kasi when we started the business we have zero investment and zero properties, but now we are so blessed with the income ng lifestyles, kaya meron na kaming ganyan. And also not just the quantitative side but also the qualitative side, we have scoreboard, you and your team's personality growth. Yan yung mga scoreboard natin. At yung mga scoreboard na yan, may source tayo dyan. As I emphasized kanina, yung ating personal business center. Dyan natin nakikita yung teams, yung una yung sa atin, and there are teams performance, yung mga volume, promotions, your personal group volume as well, your genealogy. At sobrang grateful nga tayo for Lifestyles for providing that tool to us. And patuloy pang ini-innovate ng company yan para lalo tayong ma-serve. So, why is scoreboard essential? So, unang-una, the scoreboard is essential to understanding. So, kaya it's very important to take time to stop and measure whether you are on your track based on the scoreboard. Siyempre, di ba, kahit nga, di ba, yung mga downlines natin, pag gustong bigla na lang, dati nagsasarili, tapos biglang magpapa-counsel, di ba? Ang titingnan natin kung ano yung performance nila sa PBC natin, di ba? Even those who are running for the promotion, the beginning of their promotion, hindi sila nagpapa-counsel, at tapos bigla silang magpapa-counsel na they need help for their promotion. Ang unang tanong natin, kumusta na ba ang volume? Kumusta na ba? Sino na ba ang power leg? So it's still the scoreboard will define kung saan ka mag-start at maiintindihan mo kung anong status ng downline mo. And number 2, the scoreboard is essential for evaluation. So to evaluate, so take time to evaluate. Kaya ka naman nag-evaluate is really for your growth, di ba? Totoo naman to. You cannot grow and remain the same at the same time. So, it's either you grow or talagang kung nakastatus ko ka ba. So, your scoreboard is very essential for you to evaluate yourself and your team. The scoreboard is also essential to decision making. After careful evaluation through the scoreboard, you are ready to make decision. So, kagaya ng Disney, di ba? After they look at the scoreboard, they now, they were back to the game and yun, sobrang drastic ang change nila at sobrang ganda naman ng output nila. Also, scoreboard is essential for adjusting. The scoreboard helps you to see where adjustment are needed, be it small or key adjustment. So, syempre, pag malalakas yung team mo or maganda yung performance mo, konting mga adjustment na lang or small adjustment or drastic adjustment, dyan din sa scoreboard mo yan makikita. And the last is the scoreboard is essential in winning. Nobody can win without the scoreboard. So how do you know when time is running out unless you check the scoreboard? So very essential po talaga yan. So ngayon, let's evaluate. As a team and as a lifestyler, be it ikaw ay may leading a big team or leading a small team or kahit wala ka pang team. So, take time to evaluate. Do you use your scoreboard in your team? Do you write team goals and the major step to reach those goals? Or do you measure progress? Not just every month or every after cut-off, dun mo lang tinitignan. No, you have to measure progress daily or even on a weekly basis. So after every goal ba, do you take time to evaluate and ask feedback from your mentors? Or do you make decision after evaluation? So evaluate yourself in the law of the scoreboard kung nagagawa mo ba yan. And take action after evaluation. So, check your team if they are maximizing the use of the PBC. Tingnan mo nga yung mga team mo, baka hindi naman nila minamaximize ang PBC na na-provide ng ating company. Meet with your mentors with your scoreboard and ask for feedback and evaluation for improvement. So, sabi nga, di ba, you cannot grow and remain on status quo at the same time. So, kailangan nag-i-improve ka. Apply the feedback na bibigay sa'yo ng iyong upline, ng iyong mentor, and see your progress in 6 months. So, evaluate yourself, see your progress on a daily basis and or weekly basis. And do the same with your team, especially to your key leaders. So, that's the law of the scoreboard. And next naman is the law of the bench. Great teams have great depths. So, the law of the bench. Ano bang na-imagine nyo sa bench? Di ba, sa Tagalog, mga bangko pagka sa paglalaro, di ba, sa mga games. So, yan, yung mga itsura ng mga bench, di ba? Usually, what is our impression sa mga bench? Di ba? Iniisip natin yung they are the weak player, they are reserved, they are not playing, tapos they are not good player, they are just merely substitute. So, yan yung mga usual na na-imagine natin. Naalala ko yung kwento rin ni John Maxwell to emphasize the law of the bench. Nag-attend daw siya ng football kasama nung mga key leaders niya. May dalawa siyang kasama, yung son-in-law niya tsaka yung key leader niya. Naglalaban yung school ng Georgia Tech at Florida State University or FSU. FSU is a very strong and favorite team sa kanilang lugar. So nung nanonood sila, by the third quarter, ay ang score is 15-12 in favor of Georgia Tech. So ano na, syempre dahil sikat si FSU, 'di ba? Gusto nila manalo at close lang naman yung number. Pero during the third quarter, sabi ni John Maxwell, uwi na tayo. Sabi niya ganun. May panalo na. Sabi niya ganun. Tapos, hindi mo talaga tatapusin, sabi nung mga kasama niya. Hindi na, alam ko na kung sinong mananalo. Sabi niya. Alam niyo kung sino nanalo? In the end, 26-21, ang winner is FSU. Tapos, nung sabi nung mga kaibigan niya, paano mo nalaman na ang mananalo is FSU? Lamang ang Georgia Tech. Sabi niya, at na-observe niya yung game, yung Tech ay from the start to the end, the starters are still in the game. Pero yung FSU has been substituting many players from their bench. So, alam niya na darating ang time in the fourth quarter, mapapagod yung mga starter nila at makakalamang ang FSU kasi nagsasubstitute lagi sa mga bench players nila. At nare-reserve nila yung strength ng kanilang mga starter. So, that's the value of or the impact of the law of the bench. Great teams have great bench or great depth. So, ibig sabihin pala, yung mga bench natin or yung mga bench are not necessarily just a substitute or just a reserve and they are weak player. But they are strong players. They are good reserve. They should be a good reserve. They should be good players as well and good substitute. So, great team with no bench eventually collapse. So, ganyan pala ka-importante rin yung mga bench na akala natin ay walang significance sa team natin. So the law of the bench, so meron tayong starter and the bench. So, just i-define lang natin. Starters are the frontline people who directly add value to the organization who directly influence its course. So, yan yung mga starters. Directly, they influence and they add value. But the bench are made up of the people who add value to the organization indirectly or who support the starters who do the direct adding value and the direct influence. So, they support and they add value indirectly. Those are the bench. Naalala ko sa team namin, syempre, di ba, we have great starters. We have GMD Peng, the inner circle ni GMD Peng, GMD Angie, GMD Tin, GMD Mitch, GMD Malu, tapos nandyan pa si GMD Raymel, nandyan si GMD Jap, diba? They are really, tapos meron pa GMD Russell. So they are the great starters in our team. And we have also quote-unquote benches, the newly promotions natin in our groups. Nandiyan sina GMD Clarissa, GMD Flo, GMD Hanika, GMD Georgette, GMD Pino, GMD Monet. So maraming mga bago that seems to be, dahil bago, they are some yung nag-emerge in our team. So, naalala ko yung verse sa Bible sa Romans chapter 12 verses 4-5. For just as each of us has one body with many members, and these members do not all have the same function. So in Christ we, though many, form one body and each member belongs to all the others. Sometimes, di ba, gusto natin yung kasi the parts of the body, di ba? Gusto natin yung ilong, yung kitang-kita, yung mata, yung kilay, yung part of the faces. Pero kahit na updo yan, hindi mo nakikita, equally important yan. Yan yung sinasabi ng Word of God na kahit anong parte ng katawan mo, each member belongs to all the others. So, bench or starter ka man or bench ka man, you are equally important. Kaya, dapat we should care those who are quote-unquote na nasa bench, di ba? Kasi importante yun. Biruin mo yung kinikwento ni John Maxwell, di ba? Kung hindi mo talaga, kung wala ka ring strong bench, ay hindi mo rin mapagtatagumpayan ang isang laro. Sabi nga, di ba, a great team with no bench will eventually collapse. So why should bench players be cared about? Unang-una, today's bench players may be tomorrow's star. Naalala ko lang po, there are recent concluded na GMD Summit. Um, we have only 9 people at the front. Actually, meron lang kaming 5 speakers, GMD Peng, GMD Raymel, GMD Jones, GMD Tina, and GMD Kring. And we have hosts, sina GMD Norma, GMD Hanika, GMD Risa, and syempre si GMD Rover Mar. Sila lang yung mga nasa front. At syempre sila yung mga starters, di ba? Pero alam nyo ba, our chairwoman is very new in the team. But we had so much success in our big event, our GMD Summit, because of the leadership of our new GMD Clarissa Arroyo, 'di ba? She may not be the starter, pero we had so much victory and so much success dahil sa katotohanan niya yan. Yung today's bench may be tomorrow's stars, 'di ba? Kaya we should really take care and really pansinin at alagaan natin yung mga somewhat bench natin. At kailangan din, kung ikaw man ay kita mo at kinukonsider mo ang sarili mo as bench, ay kailangan din talagang ma-develop mo yung sarili mo. The success of a supporting player can multiply the success of a starter. Naalala ko dyan, GMD, sa team po namin, GMD Rochelle Peñaranda. Alam niyo po ba, we never thought na ang galing niya sa technical. Siya po ay very supportive sa mga regular workshop namin every Thursday. Talagang siya po yung laging nag-volunteer and very successful. At talagang nakikita namin yung nag-shine siya at nagmumultiply yung success ng mga starter namin because of the people at the back. So, and there are more bench players than starters, 'di ba? Yun nga lang doon sa summit namin there were only 9 people, 'di ba, in the front, but there were almost 30 people working at the back. We have the head of the technical team by GMD Violi, and there are a lot of GMDs helping her. The head of our registration, GMD Flo, the head of the documentation by GMD Tan, the head of the press release namin, GMD Jen, and the program team by GMD Risa, and the admin by GMD Hanika. But there are a lot of people working at the back. At yung mga starter namin ay iilan lang. So, kaya kailangan natin talagang i-take care yung ating mga bench players because there are more bench player than starter. And also, a bench player correctly placed will at times be more valuable than starter. Sabi nga ni John Maxwell dyan, pag daw nag-collapse yung company niya, ang naiisip niyang dalhin, kunyari may nangyari sa company niya, ang naiisip niyang i-keep is yung kanyang admin assistant. Somewhat parang bench, di ba? Pero they are more valuable than the starter. So, kaya we should take care sa kanila. And a strong bench gives the leader more options. Pagka may mga challenges, 'di ba? Pagka sabi nga, 'di ba? A great team without bench will eventually collapse. Kaya kailangan din talaga natin na i-take care sila. And lastly, the bench is usually called upon at the critical times for the team. 'Di ba? Pag maganda ang game, hindi mo naman kailangan yung ang mga bench. Pero at the times of critical times natin, we really need the bench. So, sobrang ganda niyan. So, let's evaluate. Okay? So, do you treat members of your team with respect regardless of their roles? Ang pinapansin mo lang ba yung mga starters and then you ignore the effort and the work of the bench? Or do you focus your energy in complementing rather than competing with the team members? Diba? So, dapat nagko-complement tayo as a team. Hindi lahat ay, di ba, yung bahagi ng katawan natin, hindi naman lahat ilong, hindi naman lahat mata, di ba? We are composed of many parts and we complement each other. Do the members of your team consider you to be valuable team members? If you are called upon, I could fill a more demanding role. So, ibig sabihin, ano ka ba, reliable ka ba as a team member? Be it kung nako-consider mo as sarili mo bench and at the critical times, kailangan ng tulong mo, reliable ka ba? And do you take responsibility of your own personal growth as a bench? Kasi bench are really very important. So you have to really take care of your personal growth. And let's take action. So if you think you're a bench player, you have to do two things. Help the starter to shine. Okay, so they are starter. Tulungan mo sila mag-shine. Prepare yourself to be a starter in the future. So help the starter to shine and prepare yourself also that you will be a starter in the future. And number two, as an action, if you think you are a starter, then you should not only perform at your best for the sake of the team, but you should also honor the people on the bench. Ganda, no? Hindi lang kung starter ka, ay ano na. No, give also the honor to the benches. As a starter, you should be mentoring a teammate on the bench. So, maganda po yan. And as a bench player, be proactive on your personal growth. So those are the laws na ating na-discuss, the law of the scoreboard and the law of the bench. Thank you so much for listening to our this workshop discussing about the laws number 11 and number 12. Thank you so much. This has been Global Marketing Director Lea Guevara. To God be the glory. Good morning.